Am I gonna look exhausted in this? I hope not. Hi!
I'll be your guide!
Okay, we're gonna try and get through this rather quickly because there is a thunderstorm going on outside, but I have to get this done and I'll try and edit around the thunder. We're gonna power through, guys. We're gonna power through. So it's I was gonna start off the video by saying it's really hot out, pretty much everywhere. However, it's raining today, but this goes along with my theme. So we're spending a lot of indoor time right now, and there's gonna be a lot of Netflix binging, Hulu binging, Amazon Prime binging, just binging in general. And I love me a good Netflix binge. I love any kind of binge, really. We're gonna do a little list of shows I think are good if you are a theater kid. Now some of these involve theater and some of them have aspects that I think you guys will like, which means things like Broadway guest stars who show up, or things with musical elements. So these are in no particular order, but we're just gonna jump right into it. The first one, for obvious reasons, is Glee. Glee was the first show. I watched Glee in its original run. I did stop in the middle, and then I started this thing where I almost dropped my notepad. Started watching it again from their college years, but I would only watch the original cast in college. I would fast forward through all the other stuff, and I was just it was bad. We all know it got bad in the second half, but it's a good kind of bad, and it was the first show that I saw acknowledge musical theater as anything. The fact that they did Defying Gravity on primetime television was everything to me when I was 12. Rachel Berry was a bit of a spirit animal. I was that awful in middle school. So, just saying, Glee, if you haven't seen it, you should at least watch it for the laughs. Second one is obviously Smash from NBC, for obvious reasons, again. It's a show about musical theater, about the making of a musical, about what the musical theater world is like. I was in performing arts school when that show came out, and everybody watched it. We all watched it. I remember one of my teachers came in and said, "Who wants Let Me Be Your Star sheet music?" and threw it on the ground, and people wrestled over it because we were all theater kids. It's a great soapy kind of show. It's got great covers, great singers. There's Broadway stars in every single episode. You've got Christian Borle, Jeremy Jordan, Krista Rodriguez, Megan Hilty. That show is peak musical theater television. I'm so sad it got canceled. It's got 2 seasons. You can watch it. I don't know if there's anywhere you can watch it for free because I bought the whole first season because I really missed it. But I'm sure you can find it somewhere. The third one is kind of moving away from the theater-themed television shows, but I chose this because the show shoots in New York, which means a lot of the actors they get are Broadway actors because they're all New York local, and that's Elementary. Now, Elementary is ending this season, but it's been on for about 7 years. It's all on Hulu, except for this current season. But every single episode, I swear to God, there is one Broadway person. So I always watch the opening credits to see who's guest starring that week, because there's just always someone you can recognize. And sometimes there's stuff about New York life and stuff that's really a part of it. And it's a great procedural show. It's really quirky. It doesn't really get boring, and I really love it. So yeah, Elementary is a great one if you want to do some Broadway star spotting on national television. I know Laura Osnes was in an episode. Most recently, Lindsey Mendez was in an episode. So yeah, check the names in the beginning and then see if you can spot them. The fourth one is running currently. It's The Bold Type. It's on Freeform. The reason why I picked this for theater lovers is A, it takes place in New York even though it's shot in Canada. And it also stars Megan Fahy, who some of you might know from Next to Normal. She was the replacement for Jen Damiano for Natalie. And all 3 of the girls on the show can sing. Everyone's vying for a musical episode, but there is a great performance they do in a karaoke bar of Mamma Mia, so it's worth it just for that. It's very feminist. It's very it's like Sex and the City, but for 20-somethings. It's a really, really good show. I've enjoyed every single season, and they're shooting their 4th, so a new episode should be coming very, very soon. The Bold Type, highly, highly suggest it. The fifth one is a little strange, and some people may not like me for it because I know a lot of people think this show has overstayed its welcome. I still like it. Thunder. The fifth one is Supernatural. I know it's been on for ages. However, because it's been on for ages, everybody's been in it. So there have been some Broadway stars who have popped up on Supernatural. So it's really, really funny to go to the theater and look at someone's bio and being like, oh, they played a demon on Supernatural. I went to go see a play once. The actor in it had played like this demon priest, and it was so weird how I was able to pinpoint who that guy was. It was so interesting. Leslie Odom Jr., I know, played a Crossroads demon at one point, which was amazing. Leslie Odom Jr., I'd sell my soul. So, Supernatural. Also, there is it's not a musical episode, but there is an episode where a group of school kids put on a musical about the main story of Supernatural, and there is a lot of nice little theater Easter eggs in it. So, if you're not going to watch the show, at very least watch its 100th episode, because that was hilarious for me. The sixth one, sixth, is House MD. And I say this for a few reasons. It is a procedural, it's a medical procedural. However, there have been quite a few Broadway stars on this show as well, including Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is actually a fan favorite guest star on House. He comes in the 6th season, I think, and he plays Juan Alvi Alvarez. He is a manic depressive guy that House meets. I won't tell you where because it gives away a lot, but he's like a great character. Also, Hugh Laurie, who plays House, is very, very musically talented. He has 2 blues albums, which I own, and he's a fantastic musician, and music is a really big part of the show. There are some musical references in it. I don't know why House knows this much about Evita, but he brings it up a few times, and I don't know why. Also, you've got Robert Sean Leonard, who is a Broadway veteran. Robert Sean Leonard is also a screen veteran. He was in Dead Poets Society and Swing Kids. But he's a big Broadway nerd. I know this because when he was on Broadway most recently in Sunday in the Park with George, he just I follow one of the cast members and she would just talk to him all the time about his Broadway obsession, and he was also in this really boring documentary we had to watch about Eugene O'Neill, where he was the voice of Eugene O'Neill, so I know he's a huge theater geek and it's just fun to watch him work. Number seven. Younger on TV Land for Sutton Foster. Need I say more? And it's great. Also, it brings in another one of my loves, which is books, because it takes place in the publishing industry. And it's just great. And also Hilary Duff is in it. So my 90s kid can really just enjoy my Broadway obsession, my Lizzie McGuire obsession, and my book obsession. So it's just really great. Just watch it. It's really fun. Number 8 is Rise. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this one. It was pretty popular amongst the Broadway set when it came out. There's only 1 season. However, it is musical theater centered. Auli'i Caravalho, I think that's how you say her name, was the lead in it. And they put on a production of Spring Awakening in a public high school. It's also based on the book, I think it's called either Drama Club or Drama Kids, which I own. And it's about a very specific public school teacher putting on rather controversial shows to be educational. It's very interesting. I didn't watch the entire series when it was out. I kind of want to go back and watch it. I did watch the pilot and it was very, very good. And also somebody I went to college with, their name is Ellie, played the character, I think, of Michael in it, and they are a non-binary actor, so that's some representation you don't see very often, so obviously a show like that needs some support. And the final one I actually added last minute because I'd forgotten about it, shockingly, even though I watched the entire show, is Nashville. I know country music and musical theater do not usually overlap, and usually the tastes do not overlap either. However, there are some Broadway stars in Nashville. I've personally found all the music really, really great. The story gets a little soap opera-y, but you're so hooked, and everyone's voices are fantastic, and the talent is just insane. I seriously suggest watching it. It'll make you cry. It's so good. And Will Chase is a big character in it for a few seasons. as well as Chris Carmack, I think his name is, who just played one of the princes in Into the Woods at the Hollywood Bowl recently. So definitely check out Nashville if you're into country music, or even if you're not, because it gives a really cool insight into like the music industry and the songwriting process, because a lot of songwriters and a lot of the best ones actually come from Nashville, which I didn't know. I thought they were kind of sprinkled all over, but a lot of people say that if you want to learn really good songwriting, you go to Nashville. So it was really, really interesting. Really, really worth a watch. So those are the shows I'd suggest if you enjoy theater, and it's got a little something for everybody. If you want something that's based in the theater world or not based in the theater world, if you like your cop shows, your doctor shows, your soap opera-y shows. If I've missed any, please put your suggestions in the comments, because I'd love to see more, because I'm always looking for another show to watch, especially stuff that involves theater, because I feel like there's not a lot of it, because I really had to dig to find some really good theater shows. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I post all of my video updates. If, like, when a video goes up, if I'm gonna be late on a video, all that stuff is mostly through Instagram, so follow me there to stay updated. And I will see you next week. The video is gonna be pre-filmed this week because I'm gonna be on vacation, so I'm gonna be on the beach. So I will see you and not see you next week.
Tell